Hi guys, I'm Nick Bester and welcome back to the channel. So I've been coaching quite a few runners over the past few years, and these are the top 5 most common mistakes I've seen us runners make. I'm personally guilty of some of them myself, but I'm hoping that by watching this video, if you can relate to any of them, you can correct them and it makes you train more productively going forward. I've always said I showcase these things, and if it helps even just one person, then it's 100% worth doing it. So these are the top 5 most common mistakes I see us runners make. Okay, number 1 most common mistake I see us runners make is running a lot of our runs at the same distance and the same pace. So I know we're sort of creatures of habit and we love staying within our comfort zones, but if we do the same distance and the same pace every day, we will see improvements, but at a much slower rate than if we had to snap out of our comfort zones and really add good quality structure to our training. So by that, I mean probably incorporating 2 harder days in a week. Now that could be a track or interval session, a fartlek session, a heel session, probably some structure within your long run, but all that stuff is doing is snapping you out of your comfort zone, pushing you to your limits, and by doing that, it's important to take the other days easier. So those easier days you really want to recover, so you're fresher to nail those harder days. By training up here and then recovering down here, it's a much more productive way to train, and trust me, you'll see results a whole lot quicker. Number 2, neglecting strength and conditioning. So, as runners, a lot of us love running. It's what we're passionate about and love doing. We don't like the extra bits and pieces that come along with running, like strength and conditioning. However, this is crucial to do to remain injury-free, okay? As soon as we start getting into our training and start seeing improvements, we want to just run more and nail sessions, which is completely fine. However, we must supplement that with some cross training and especially some strength and conditioning. We want to build those muscles to be able to handle the load that you're putting through it, to reach those levels you never thought you were possible. If you neglect strength and conditioning, it's almost like a ticking time bomb before you get injured. So rather than waiting until it's too late, build those muscles, really get them strong so that they can handle the load for what you're going to put through your body. Okay, mistake number 3. Now, I've seen this happen numerous times. A runner starts incorporating structure into their training and they start seeing results really quickly. They start running faster than ever before. It doesn't feel as hard because they never used to do track or interval sessions. They never used to do this sort of quality. And it becomes addictive and you just want to fly and get faster and faster. However, you don't want to do anything drastic. In running, it's always baby steps, incremental gains, and a lot of runners do too much too soon and then end up breaking. So what I don't recommend is doing more than 10% of mileage based on your previous week. And it goes sort of in relation to things like speed. If you're getting into speed workouts, rather ease into it and build as you go along, then go from here to up there, because that's just not sustainable. Another thing is when it comes to mileage, just incrementally build a little bit week on week, and especially with quality volume within your training. So let's just say, for example, your training week is 50 kilometers and you're doing 10Ks worth of quality, which is around 20%, and the remainder 40Ks, which is 80% of the week, is at your zone 2 easier pace. Lovely, that's an amazing ratio. But what you don't want to do in the next week is up that 10Ks of quality to 20Ks of quality, and it changes the ratio from 60 to 40. So just small incremental gains on all of those things. So I'd just like to thank the sponsor of this video, HVMN's Ketone-IQ. And what I'm finding is the closer we get into winter, the darker the mornings, the colder it is, the harder it is to get out. I wake up and I'm sort of half asleep, but before heading out, I have a shot of Ketone-IQ, and what it does is it just clears out the grogginess. It makes you feel more awake. It almost makes me feel like I want to go out there for a run. So I know as soon as I have a shot of this, it's game time. Get out the door, head out. And if you haven't tried it yourself, I've got a link that'll give you 30% off Give it a go. Let me know what you think. Let's go. Okay, number 4 is not practicing your gels and nutrition enough within training. And I am very guilty of this myself. So previously I used to think that if I do a 25-30K run without any water or gel, I'm doing myself a favor, and come race day, when you can give yourself a gel or have liquids, it's going to give me double the effect that it would have if I used it within training. Wrong, completely not. Being a hero like that actually was completely the incorrect, wrong thing to do. And your body has a much better training effect if you give it fueling regularly throughout. Remember, when it comes to race day, I'm sure you've heard the saying, don't try anything new on race day. So you need to be able to train with what you're using on race day and make sure your stomach can handle it. We train very hard, and race day is our special day, so we don't want to avoid anything that can mess it up. And as much as we train our fitness to build, you almost need to train your gut to be able to handle the fuel and the carbs you're going to give it on race day, and you can never train it enough. So really look to incorporate good fuel throughout training regularly on, from when you start all the way through to race day, so I got that energy, my body can handle it, and most importantly, I know it's going to have a small chance of giving my stomach any issues come race day. Okay, finally, number 5 is getting obsessed with social media and letting that dictate some of your training. So once again, I am personally also guilty of this mistake. I previously went through a stage once where on Strava I was worried what people would think about my training, and I didn't want to go over 4 minutes a K. I called it fear of over 4 minutes per kilometer. And I did my recovery runs at under 4 minutes per K, which were far too quick for my recovery runs, but I was scared about what people would think and people would judge me. And you know what? As soon as you stop caring about that, run for the right reasons, run for yourself and to try and improve, you'll see much better improvements. Another thing is that we can go on Instagram and we look at runners with the perfect form, breaking world records left, right, and center. But those are highlighting the world's best. What we've got to realize is that we all got our different forms, and you need to own your form. Really, really fall in love with the way you're running, even if you don't like it. I personally don't like my running form. I think 95% of us don't like our running form. However, it's crucial to just be the best you that you can be, and use social media in the right ways. Follow people on Strava that give you inspiration, follow friends so you can see what they're doing and motivate you, but don't put stuff out there to try and impress other people, because that's a slippery slope, and as soon as you start doing that, it becomes unsustainable. So never compare yourself to others. Always try to be the best you, and use social media for the right reasons. Cool guys, so I hope you found this video helpful. If you're currently finding that you're making any other mistakes other than this, or other runners are making mistakes, please pop them in the comments below. I'd love to see it. And you don't always necessarily need to train harder. As long as we keep trying and train smarter, then we're productive and the results will come. So let's try and avoid these mistakes and be as productive as possible. Good luck for training ahead. Give it a good go. Let's go.